Hello and welcome to my school channel. My name is Angela, and in this video we're going to tackle the JAMB past question for 2024 for English language. So please stay with us, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Welcome back to my school channel. Like I said earlier, we're going to be tackling the JAMB past question for English language for the year 2024. So we're going to be discussing questions 1 to 25. Let's begin with question 1. The following question is based on Khadija Abubakar Jalili's The Life Changer. From Omi's narration, what exactly is the note of salvation? Option A, the cheat note that Tomiwa gave Salma. B, the cheat note that Kolawole Abdul passed to Salma. C, the cheat note that the female teacher missed when she searched Salma. And D, the cheat note generally that the students copied from in examinations. So the answer to this question is option B, the cheat note that Kolawole Abdul passed to Salma. So we can find this on page 52 of the novel, where Salma was writing a final exam and she did not know what to write. So she asked Kolawole Abdul, a sick partner, to write down some answers and pass it to her. So this is what they refer to as the note of salvation. So the answer to this question is option B. Question 2. Choose the option that has the same consonant sounds as represented by the underlined letters. The word is Archbishop. Option A, Christian. Option B, chemical. Option C, archangel. And option D, sachet. So let's go to the board to transcribe the words. So for the word Archbishop, the focus is on the underlined letters C and H. So it is pronounced as Archbishop. We have the consonant sound ch. Then option A says Christian. It's pronounced Christian. All right, so we can see there is a consonant cluster here. We have the S sound and then we have the ch. Okay, they are in two different syllables of the word. It's pronounced Christian. Then option B says chemical. Chemical. You can see we're focusing on this part of the word and it is the k sound that is there. Then for the word archangel, the CH here is pronounced K as well. So although they have the same spelling, they're pronounced differently. We pronounce this as Archbishop, we pronounce this as Archangel. Then option D is sachet. Oftentimes we pronounce it as sachet, but that's not the correct pronunciation. It is pronounced as sachet. So instead of the ch sound, we have the sh, sachet. So from the transcription, we can see that the ch sound can be found in option A. So let's go to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription of the consonant sounds, we can see that option A is the answer to this question. Question 3. Choose the option that rhymes with the given word. The word is permits or permits, depending on if it's a verb or a noun. Then option A, we have enlist. Option B, commits. Option C, meets. And option D, profits. Now, let's go to the board to transcribe the words. So for the word permit or permits, you can see that for permits, as in the verb permits, it's transcribed as this. But for the noun permits, it's transcribed as this. So you can see the difference. This is permits, this is permits, the verb, the noun. Then for the word enlist, it's pronounced as enlist, and it's transcribed as this. The word commits is transcribed as this. The word meets is transcribed as this. We have the long E sound here. Then the word profits is transcribed as this. All right, from the transcription, it's important to note that when you are looking for the option that rhymes with the given word, you have to look at the one that has the most number of sounds at the end that matches the given word. So from this one, we can see that t is the only sound that is similar to either of them. So we can see t and t in both places here, but that's where it stops. For commits, we can see t is similar there. The E sound is also similar. The sound is similar as well. So we have permits, commits. Then for the word meet, again, it's just the t sound. And for profit, it's just its sound. So considering that this one has most sounds at the end that is similar to the given word, it is obvious that commit rhymes with permit. So now let's go to the board to mark our answer. So from the transcription, we can see that commit rhymes with permit, which makes option B the answer to this question. Question 4. Choose the option that rhymes with the given word. The given word is boys. Option A, moist. Option B, elbows. Option C, noise. And option D, stays. Now let's go to the board to transcribe the words. So the first word, boys, is pronounced as boys. It's important to note that when a noun ends with a vowel sound or a voiced consonant sound, the plural marker attached to it is pronounced as z and not s. It's only when you have a voiceless consonant that you pronounce it as s. As in the word book, when you are writing the plural form, it's pronounced as books because of the k is a voiceless consonant. So it's important to note that when you're transcribing words with a plural marker. So in this case, we have boys and not boys. Then option A says moist. It's transcribed as this, moist. Then option B says elbows. Again, we have that plural marker, so we know that it's the Z sound at the end. So it's transcribed as elbows. Elbows. Then we have noise. Noise is transcribed as this. Then the word stays is transcribed as this. Again, we can see that it ends with a vowel sound A. So it's the Z sound that is attached to form the plural marker. So now looking at what rhymes with boys, again we have to look at each of the letters at the end of the word. So the one with the most sounds similar to boys is going to be the one that rhymes with boys. So from this we can see that moist doesn't have anything similar to boys. They do not rhyme. Then the word elbows, we can see it's only the Z sound at the end that is similar to the one at the end of boys. For noise, we can see that the Z and the oi sound as well is similar to boys. Boys, noise. Then for option D, stays, the only sound similar is the Z sound at the end. So from this, we can see that boys rhymes with noise. Now let's go back to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription, we can see that boys rhymes with noise. So the answer to this question is option C. Question 5. Choose the most appropriate stress pattern from the options below. The stressed syllables are written in capital letter. So the word is productivity. Productivity. So we're going to look for the option that has the appropriate stress pattern. So like I pronounced earlier, it's pronounced productivity. Remember when you are looking for the stress pattern, especially for multisyllabic words, some of those rules that you're familiar with for words with 2 or 3 syllables may not apply here. So there are some rules that can guide you to where the stress is placed. Again, it's important to use your judgment rather than to rely on these rules. But sometimes these rules do work. It's important to try to pronounce the words to see if the rules actually work for that particular word. So in this case, the rule that we're applying here is the fact that words that end with ity, et, they tend to be stressed on the antepenultimate syllable. The antepenultimate syllable is the 3rd syllable from the last. So from this word, we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 syllables. So we are looking for the 3rd syllable from the last. This is the last syllable. This is the 2nd to the last syllable. This is the 3rd to the last syllable, the 3rd syllable from the last. So this is where the stress is placed. And when you pronounce it, productivity, you can see that the stress is there, productivity. So from this, we can see that option C is the answer to this question because the stress is on the T. So option C. Question 6. Choose the option that has the same vowel sound as represented by the underlined letters. So this particular word is busy. The underlined letter is the E sound right there in the middle. Then we have option A, vineyard, option B, automobile, option C, twilight, and option D, island. So let's go to the board to transcribe the words. All right, for the word busy, there are 2 vowel sounds there. This is the one we are focusing on. So we have the E sound for the first one. That is the one we are to focus on in this particular question. Then option A is pronounced as vineyard. Although we often pronounce it as vineyard, this is not the correct pronunciation. It is pronounced as vineyard. So this particular vowel is the E sound. And then the one we have here is the long R sound, vineyard. Then for the word automobile, it's pronounced automobile, not automobile. So from the pronunciation of this word, we can see that here we have the O sound. Then here we have the schwa sound. We have the schwa sound again here. And then we have the long E sound, automobile. It's not the short one. Then for option C, it's pronounced twilight. Sometimes we pronounce it as twilight, but it's pronounced twilight. So here we have two I sounds. This one in the first syllable and the other one in the second, twilight. Then the word island, island has the I sound and the schwa sound in the second syllable. So from this transcription, we can see that the one that has that E sound is option A, vineyard. Now let's go back to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription, we can see that option A is the answer to this question. Question 7. The following question is based on Khadija Abubakar Jalili's The Life Changer. The narrator and her children sat dash because the room was stuffy. Option A, under the baobab tree. B, under a canopy. C, under the mango tree. And D, in the balcony. The answer to this question is option C, under the mango tree. And we can see this on page 6 of the novel, where the narrator talks to her children. She tells them that they should go outside to sit under the mango tree, just after Omar had announced the good news about his passing of his entrance examination into the university. So she tells her children to come outside to sit under the mango tree while they are with their father. So the answer to this question is option C, under the mango tree. Question 8. Choose the option that has the same consonant sounds as represented by the underlined letters. The word is clothe, and the underlined letters are the TH. It's pronounced clothe. Option A, cloth. Option B, smooth. Option C, good. And option D, thesis. Now let's go to the board to transcribe the words. Alright, so the word is clothe. So we have the voiced V sound here. So it is voiced because when you pronounce it and you put your hand on your vocal cord, you can feel the vibration, clothe. Then option A is pronounced cloth, cloth. We have the F sound here, cloth. Okay, when you pronounce it and you put your hand on your vocal cord, you do not feel any vibration. This makes it a voiceless sound. They are similar in the sense that your mouth is arranged in exactly the same way, except that for this one, you do not use voice to pronounce it. Then option B, it's pronounced as smooth, smooth. Again, you can feel the vibration when you pronounce it. This makes it the voiced variant of that sound. Then option C is pronounced good. So we have the D sound there. Okay, it is different from either of these sounds. It's pronounced differently. Then option D, we have thesis, thesis. Again, we have the voiceless sound. So from this transcription, we can see that option B is similar to clothe. The sound there is similar to that in clothe. Now let's go back to the screen to mark our answer. So from this transcription, we can see that option B is the answer to this question. Question 9. The following question is based on Khadija Abubakar Jalili's The Life Changer. The quiet one in the text is A, Salma Mohammed, B, Lawa Habib, C, Tali, and D, Tomiwa. The answer to this question is option C, Tali, and we can find this on page 21 of the novel, where they describe Tali as a very silent person who never engages in a fight with anyone. So the answer to this question is option C. Do you know you can take past questions that have simulated JAMB CBT past questions? All you need to do is to go down to the link in the description below. This takes you to the Myschool website, where you can download our Myschool mobile app for your Android devices and the Myschool software for your laptops and computers. Please go ahead and start practicing. Now on to question 10. Choose the option that has the same vowel sound as represented by the underlined letters. So the word is earn, and the underlined letters we have U and R. Option A, bed. Option B, corn. Option C, hairs. And option D, calm. Now let's go to the board to transcribe the words. So for the word earn is pronounced as earn. Okay, so we have the long air sound here. Then the word bed is very short. We have the air sound as well, the shorter variant of the sound. Then for the word corn, we have the long O sound. or corn. Then option C is pronounced hers. So we have this sound as well, the long air sound. Then option D is pronounced as calm. Calm. We have the long R sound. It's important to note that when you're transcribing this word, there is no The is silent. There is no sound there. It's pronounced as calm. So from this transcription, we can see that option C has a vowel sound similar to that in the given word. So now let's go back to the screen to mark our answer. So from the transcription, we can see that option C is the answer to this question. I believe you're enjoying this content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next videos. Question 11. The following question is based on Khadija Abubakar Jalile's The Life Changer. The character referred to as the quiet one in the novel was named Tali because A. No one really knew who fathered him. B. His mother died shortly after he was born. C. He was a reticent person while growing up. And D. He was a product of traditional medicine. So the answer to this question is option B. His mother died shortly after he was born. So the name Tali was given to him as a result of that, the fact that his mother died just after he was born. So it may feel like the answer is option C. He was a reticent person while growing up. But it's important to note that the reason they gave him the name, the quiet one, is because he was a reticent or introverted person. But the reason they gave him the name Tali was because his mother died shortly after he was born. So the answer to this question is option B. Question 12. What is the status of Habib Lawal in the House of Assembly? A. Chief Whip. B. President. C. Member. And D. Speaker. The answer to this question is option D, Speaker, and we can find this on page 58 of the novel, where Salma walks into Habib Lawal's office and found out that he has this name tag where they wrote Habib Lawal, Speaker. So the answer to this question is option D, Speaker. Question 13. At first, Salma did not like the A, ethnic groups where her roommates came from, B, composition of her roommates in the hostel, C, room she was allocated in Queen Amina Hall, and D, the hostel she was allocated to in Queen Amina Hall. So the answer to this question is option B, the composition of our roommates in the hostel. So we can find this on page 31 of the novel, where they talked about how Salma was not okay with how our roommates came from different ethnic groups within the country, different parts of the country. So this made them different in their characteristic traits, and so she was not okay with that. Although she loved the most coveted and famous hostel, the Queen Amina Hall, she was not okay with the composition of her roommates. So the answer to this question is option B. Question 14. The use of the expression notes of salvation is A, ironic, B, euphemistic, C, anachronistic, D, honorific. So the answer to this question is option B, euphemistic, and we can find this on page 52 of the novel, where the narrator herself talks about how the notes of salvation is a euphemism for cheat notes. So this helps to reduce the impact of what cheat notes actually mean. So the answer to this question is option B, euphemistic. Question 15. The acronym EMEC or EMEC as used in the novel means A, Education Matters and Ethics Committee, B, Educational Matters and Examination Committee, C, Examination Malpractice and Ethics Committee, and D, Examination Matters and Educational Committee. So the answer to this question is option C, Examination Malpractice and Ethics Committee. You can find this on page 59 of the novel. So it's an acronym for that. So it is the committee in front of which Salma and Kola are to appear in order to receive punishment for their acts of committing examination malpractice. So option C is the answer to this question. Question 16. How much did Dr. Kabir Mohammed collect from Salma in order to cover up her email offense? Option A, 100,000 naira, B, 150,000 naira, C, 300,000 naira, and D, 50,000 naira. So the answer to this question is option A, 100,000 naira. We can find this on page 61 of the novel. So the email offense is the examination malpractice offense that committed. So she went to Dr. Kabir Mohammed to negotiate a price in order to cover up this offense. And at first, Dr. Kabir Mohammed told her to pay 200,000 naira, but she was able to negotiate it down to 100,000 naira. So this makes option A the answer to this question. Question 17. According to the novel, being social studies teacher is A, greedy, B, arrogant, C, mischievous, and D, meddlesome. The answer to this question is option D, meddlesome, and we can find this on page 1 of the novel, where Beans discussed about what happened in school earlier. So she talked about how a social studies teacher believes he knows about everything under the sun. So she describes her social studies teacher as meddlesome. The answer to this question is option D. Questions 18 to 27 comes with a language register passage, so I would advise you to go down to the link in the description below. This takes you to the Myschool website where you can access the language register passage, or you can pause the video as soon as it is displayed on your screen. So do not forget that the aim of this passage is to read, understand the main idea, and then get back to the questions. So now moving on to question 18. What option best fills the gap labeled 6? Option A, way, B, tunnels, C, paths, D, avenues. So we can look at the sentence where the gap labeled 6 is. In modern mining, there is a network of dash and passages with openings and walls, which in the dim light seem very bewildering. So we're talking about the network that is dug inside of a mine so that the miners can access whatever it is they're digging out. So the best word to fill in that gap is option B, tunnels. Tunnels is the technical term for the networks that is created by the miners in order to get to whatever it is they are mining. So the answer to this question is option B. Question 19. What option best fills the gap labeled 7? A, miners, B, toilers, C, workers, and D, foreman. So again, we look at the sentence in which it is used. Right across the wall at the end of the inky black passage, the dash approach. So this entire passage is talking about mining. So if you look at the entire language register passage, you'll see that they're talking about the process of mining. So the technical term for those who mine is miners. So option A is the answer to this question. Do you have a question? Please feel free to ask your question by going down to the link in the description below. This takes you to the Myschool website where you can ask your question and the solution will be provided to you within a short period of time. Now on to question 20. Which option best fills the gap labeled 8? Option A, front, option B, slope, option C, obstacle, and option D, face. Now let's look at the passage. The coal dash is neatly cut dash. So from this, we can see that they are talking about how they extract the coal as soon as they come in contact with it. So the technical term that is used here is option D, face. All right, so it's the coal face, that's the exposed part of the coal where they do the extracting from. So the coal face is neatly cut. So the answer to this question is option D, face. Do you have a better explanation or solution to any of these questions? If you do, go down to the comment section below, indicate the question number and the solution you would like to share. Question 21. What option best fills the gap labeled 9? Option A, slit, option B, gash, option C, bare, and option D, aperture. So again, we're going to look at the sentence. The coal face is neatly cut dash. So the best word that can fill in that position is an adjective. We're looking for an adjective to fill it, and the only adjective we can find in this option is option C. Slit, gash, and aperture are nouns, so they cannot exactly fill in that position. Although the word bare, slit, gash, or aperture is not a technical term, this is where we have to go back to our understanding of the English language and grammar. So we are looking for an adjective to fill in that position, and option C is the only adjective. Option C is the answer to this question. Question 22. What option best fills the gap labeled 10? Option A, beams, option B, supports, option C, spurs, and option D, stays. So again, we're going to look at the sentence in which the word should be used. The rays of the miner's lamp shine on steel roof dash. So the word that should fill in this gap is option A, beams. Beams is the technical term used to refer to that horizontal support that helps to keep the roof up. So this beam is usually supported by supports, by walls, and so many different things. But it's that horizontal support that keeps the roof up. And you can see here they're talking about how the lamps stay on top of the steel roof dash. So it has to be something horizontal that is aligned with the roof. So the answer to this question is option A, beams. Question 23. What option best fills the gap labeled 11? A, props, B, wedges, C, poles, and D, stakes. Again, we're going to look at the sentence. Thousands of feet of rock and earth are pressing down on those steel plates and dash. So the best option to fill in this gap is option A, props. So props is that support that helps to keep the roof up, right? We talked about how there is a horizontal support, but these props are the vertical support that helps to keep the roof. That's the part that has not been dug out, the roof and the steel plates. The steel plate is the roof that they are referring to. So it helps to keep all of these structures up so that the miners can walk into the holes that they've been digging. So the answer to this question is option A, props. Question 24. What option best fills the gap labeled 12? Option A, gash, B, hole, C, seam, and D, opening. Again, we have to look at the sentence. So the sentence says, and the miners have to crawl through the small deep opening in the wall to get the coal in the mine that we are considering. The dash is nearly 4 feet thick and is being worked on by a combination of dash and so on. So in this particular sentence, we are looking for something that fills in this gap labeled 12. The best word that fills in that gap is the word hole. So we are talking about the part that is being dug, all right, so as the miners can get to the coal that they are looking for. So the best word that fills in that gap is the word hole. So hole is that part that they've been digging that is supported by beams and props and all other things so that they can get to the coal. So hole is the answer to this question. Question 25. What option best fills the gap labeled 13? A, digging, B, manpower, C, machinery, D, speed. The answer to this question is option A, digging. Again, we have to look at the passage to see what best fits into that gap. So it says the coal in the mine that we are considering, the hole is nearly 4 feet thick and is being worked by a combination of dash and explosives. So in this case, they are talking about how the hole is being expanded by the miners. So they expand the hole through a combination of something and explosives. So the best option to fill in that gap is digging. They dig as well as use explosives in order to expand the hole. So option A, digging, is the answer to this question. I believe you're enjoying this content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next videos.